is vital for you to have really the life God wants you to have, which is love.
Right. And let me get a little vulnerable here. My negative programming that affected my whole life was the adults in my life saying, "You be such a pretty girl if you just lost some weight."
Hmm.
And that started the pattern of disordered eating, whether it was binge eating to May 17th as a Toastmasters conference. And while I have all of my Toastmasters family together, when our event is over, we are going to have a big authors event right there in Orlando.
And children's authors are encouraged.
Encouraged.
That's good.
Yes. And I think we're going to do a little bit of a workshop. So there's going to be some kind of a learning opportunity. So I'm going to ask everybody, if you were to come to a workshop, what would you want to learn?
Great. So there's going to be three components that I can think of. One is we're teaching them what they want to learn.
Reviews that I paid them to provide.
And your royalties were really handsome, right?
Oh, I haven't seen a dime from them yet. So yes, not.
Yeah. So it almost makes it too easy to be a publisher, except for the fact that I do spend about $100,000 a year getting on flights and going to people's events. And the reason I do that is it makes a difference for not just the author, but it makes a difference for the community, and it makes a difference for the publishing company. So
Someone like that yesterday.
yes. And you know, I think you're going to change so many authors' lives because you are another voice that they need to hear and another perspective of what they need to hear, that it is possible to change their experience in publishing, because 99% of people, unfortunately, do not do a second book because the first book was, unfortunately, a financial loss. And it wasn't just a financial loss, it was a psychological, almost depression or frustration.
Okay, I have to leave everyone with this.
All right, this is Dr. Smiley, and I'm feeling it because I'm wearing it. This is we're getting around our 10th episode, and I'm so excited about having this particular guest, Francine Juhlin. And she is that French, by the way?
Swedish.
Swedish. Okay. Well, you are a beautiful spirit, and how lucky we are to have you. That was the best meeting to have with children's authors.
Yay.
We had about 10 or 12 people there, and we're teaching them how to really show up in the world, because it's great to have a children's book, but if you don't show up, where are the moms, where are the kids to actually enjoy the book, right? And then, as you can see, we have a special guest. Kenny is making
Hey.
an appearance. And because you have so many new children's authors that are going to be at the next meeting in 2 weeks, I think it's the 24th.
The 24th, correct, at 3 p.m. Eastern.
And anyone that wants to be there that's a children's author or wants to be a children's author, is that correct? They can want to be?
Yes. If you just think you want to be a children's author, come and get in the energy of other children's authors, and then you'll definitely want to be one.
Exactly. And so they just have to put in the comments section that they would like to be, and you'll take care of getting them a link.
I will.
All right. So Kenny, thank you for being here for the show.
Okay.
You want me to guide you a little bit?
Yep.
Okay. So I say that there's two miracles. I mean, when you go to church, you get to pray all the time. I'll say that there's two miracles. It's so weird to say them. One is that my mom unfortunately got Alzheimer's, and I got to spend 3 years as a caregiver, and that caused me to want to be an author for the first time. And the second was the pandemic, when I lost all my business. I turned to my son and said, I don't have any events. I don't have any clients. Will you be my first client for the pandemic? And he said, yes. He says, how's that work? And I said, well, write a book and then you're a client. And he said, what book should I write? And I said, well, why don't you write a joke book? The world needs humor now. And thus you wrote your first book. So what was that like?
It was exciting and tough, especially inside of that 6-year-old mindset. And I did finish it in about like a month and a half, right?
Yeah. And he's got some good jokes in there. You want to hear one of his jokes?
Yes.
Okay.
You can do whatever one you
Okay.
want.
What did the buffalo say to his son when he was leaving for school?
What?
Bison.
So I don't think you have your first book here. So I'll just say, when you are done, maybe just go down and get it and bring it back just to show it real quick. So we have some lovely authors from Perfect Publishing that are joining the next meeting on the 24th of January. And he got a copy of each of their books. So he's going to give them a little shout out so people can know and meet these people on the next event. So
Awesome.
Kenny, you want to actually, since his first book was the joke book, he can show off his 14th book that ended up being in a magazine that's coming out called Empowering Humanity. So you want to show that book?
Book.
You can
My
get closer.
14th book is
Right.
called Conversations. It's by me and my dad. It's where we both give each other questions and we both answer them. We also have a book called The Conversations, which is basically for you and your family to fill out yourself. And
Right.
when writing this book, we wrote this when we were in a hotel most of the time, right?
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, we downloaded an audio recorder to try and like make it so that when we say it, it actually goes into the book. That didn't work out, so we had to type out each character and each word.
Yeah, but the good news is we captured our voice having the conversation. So,
Yeah.
all right, next one.
And
Yeah, go
my
ahead.
10th book was my first 10 years. It is my autobiography. It's a book for philosophies and for a better life and world.
And I read that one. That's a good book. You should,
Yeah.
if you're watching this, you need to get that book.
And my first quote is in this. It's my favorite, and tomorrow's my favorite day because I get to celebrate another day I'm alive.
That's good. All right, we're going to move a little quicker. So you're just going to show off the people that are going to be at the event. Okay, go ahead.
Okay. First shout out is for David Donaldson. He wrote a book about dragons and how they each have their own.
And you two would get along because David Donaldson he's the one I connect you with that has the mascots.
Yes, I need to talk to him.
Yes. Okay.
And this is Dakota's book.
That's Dakota, who does a lot of our children's books.
Yeah.
He did my illustrations.
Yes, he did.
He's an illustrator for multiple like AI, and this is one of his first books, right?
No. This is actually one of his most recent. This is the Christmas Smiles. Oh no, middle. It's in the middle.
Yeah.
Middle. All right, go ahead.
The other one is by Carrie Doyle Jones, Mongolia Grace. It's about a dog and their like friendship and challenges. Again, it was illustrated by Dakota Steadley King. I call him Dakota.
And Karen, you were communicating. I saw her in text.
Yeah.
And then one of my second to last shout out is
This is Dr. Icon.
Yeah, Dr. Icon. It's also illustrated by Dakota, and I actually haven't read it yet. So when I do read it, it's gonna be new.
And do you have Rhonda's? Do you have Rhonda Kent? Okay, you can get Dr. Rhonda Kent because I don't see that one here. She's got the 12 leadership ones, but this one right here is this is Jack Hardy. And let's see, I like showing off when we have a picture of there's Jack drawn by AI. He's a neat guy, and this is a gorgeous book about actually his two of his kids. And I think you're connected with him as well in text.
Yes.
And the seed is like what's that?
Well, it's a look at how a seed is very much like the future of our planet. So how a seed transforms into a tree is just the way our earth and our nature does. So it's a beautiful book. She has another book called The Weed, and so she's got a nice theme at really beautiful work. Go ahead. Let's do this one, just this one only.
This is my
ninth book, something like that.
Yeah. And I sent this to the White House, and President Joe Biden gave me a letter for it. And
you got invited to the White House.
Yeah, I got invited to the White House.
All right, so why don't you go and get a couple of Rhonda Kent's in your joke book, and joke book. Just bring like 3 more up. All right, so Francine, why don't you show off your book?
Yes. This is my book, Sparkle Feathers and Princess Francie, the Magic Library.
And we're going to have links for that book and all the other books so people can go check them out on Amazon.
Yes.
Do you...
can I just say one thing?
Yes.
Please, if you like the book, please leave a review. This is a public service announcement for all authors. We love reviews.
Yeah, reviews let us know we did our job right. And
yes.
So this is Kenny's first book right here.
Okay, this is joke books.
And since you went to get it, why don't you tell another joke? Just
Okay.
grab another joke. And while he's looking for a joke, this is Rhonda Kent's book. She has 12 books, and they're all about leadership. And so this is the R in leadership. So it's LEAD. Every letter has a different character, and you learn lessons. And in this book, you're learning. Let me see what the lesson besides leadership. I'm wondering if there's anything down here. So responsibility is what you're learning in this one. So when you get that, you get this to be filled out. So each time there's a gem. Okay, go ahead, Kenny. You want to tell a joke?
Okay. One of the first jokes I actually made didn't make sense absolutely at all, but it made my dad laugh.
Yes, it did.
Why did the man take a bath?
Why?
Because he was a stinky poo.
That was written by my son, and I don't know if he was referring to me when I need to take a bath. All right, Kenny. Well, thank you for being part of the show. Francine's going to give you so much publicity for your books. She's making a big. I mean, we're going to get to hundreds of children's authors. I'm going to manifest 1,000.
Yes.
And she served in the military. So if you want to say thank you for your service,
Thank you for your service.
you know, that's the most important thing is to thank someone because we have freedom because of them. So thank you. All right. Thank you. I'll see you in about 10 minutes. We're heading to church. So, Francine, I want to have you on so many shows. We're going to make this a short show just to really honor what you're doing with the events and what you're doing for children's authors. But so people get to know you a little better, would you give like 2 or 3 minutes about why this is so important to you?
Yes. The reason this, especially these books are so important to me. I started out as a holistic health coach, and then I moved into public speaking coaching. And I recognized that all the people I was coaching, every bad habit we were trying to break started from negative programming they received as children. I'm not saying it's the parents' fault because the parents were just acting upon the programming they had when they were children. I decided it's time to stop the madness, break the cycle, and let's start building strong children today so we don't have to fix the broken adults tomorrow. And
Can I interject about programming?
please, yes,
So, no matter who you are who you are because of the programming inside you, which causes belief systems to occur. So, for instance, if you accept the world because your parents taught you to love humanity, you'll operate that way with that program. If your parents unfortunately had some hatred or they had discrimination as part of their programming, it may go into your children's programming. And so you don't necessarily get along with all humanity. So breaking these patterns, as Francine's saying, is vital for you to have really the life God wants you to have, which is love.
right. And let me get a little vulnerable here. My negative programming that affected my whole life was the adults in my life saying, "You be such a pretty girl if you just lost some weight."
Hmm.
And that started the pattern of disordered eating, whether it was binge eating to mask my insecurities or starving myself and going on these weird diets trying to lose weight. So it's not all just about how we see the world, but it's more how we see ourselves, because how we see ourselves is how we present ourselves to the world. And my books are geared towards children before they get to middle school, so they could get the tools they need before they reach the age of where they're trying to be like everyone else, before they're trying to become their own person. Let's give them the tools they need before they get there rather than changing them later.
Exactly. A word that is used a lot in entrepreneur world and success world is mindset. And
Correct.
mindset is part of the programming too. So if your
Absolutely.
mindset is that you can only make 1,000 a month, then you'll probably not be too surprised you're making about 12,000 a year. And if you
Yeah.
look at a mindset of someone like maybe Elon Musk, you're looking at a man who thinks that there is no limit to what you can do. And hence, he has broken every record there is financially and also disruptively. And, whether you like these people or not, their programming has allowed them to be who they are becoming now. So I am so excited about you being part of Perfect Publishing because you have catapulted what it is to create community for young leaders. And Kenny was part of the show because I want to say to parents, your child can be a children's author. In fact, a child that writes a children's book may have a better way of connecting. But Kenny has gotten so many skill sets like um, being a business person, learning what the costs are, learning what shipping is, learning what customer service is. He takes business cards every day and he types all the information of the business cards into a database. And I've taught him to market to some degree, but they all get to get his book for free. And you know why they get him for free, Francine? Because it's digital. It's a digital copy, and if you don't get to look at the book, you won't buy it. So I look at it this way: if we have all our children's authors give books to libraries, then they can say, "I love this book. We're going to go ahead and buy the amount that we need for this community." So, how many books have you done?
This is the first, and the draft for the second is almost complete.
Good, good. Um, you live in Jacksonville, Florida.
I do.
And you have a big event happening in May in Orlando, right?
Correct. May 16th and 17th is a Toastmasters conference. And while I have all of my Toastmasters family together, when our event is over, we are going to have a big authors event right there in Orlando.
And children's authors are encouraged.
Encouraged.
Yes, good.
Yes. And I think we're going to do a little bit of a workshop. So there's going to be some kind of a learning opportunity. So I'm going to ask everybody, if you were to come to a workshop, what would you want to learn?
Great. So there's going to be three components that I can think of. One is we're teaching them what they want to learn. Number two is they're going to sign books so they get to connect with the community that's there, as well as the publicity. And the third thing is they get to actually support each other.
Correct. The more authors you meet, the more people you have raising you up, so more people will buy your book.
And you're very active with your book. You go and do readings. You create a lot of community events. How do you do that?
Well, because I'm a public speaker and a storyteller, before my book was even on Amazon, I started dressing up like my character. And it evolved into play dates with Princess Francine. So I go out and I do readings and I partner with other community leaders, Children's Eyeglass Center. I have Cooking for Children, who I'm partnering with next. And remember, I said I had problems with unhealthy eating. So I'm going to read up to the point of the book where Princess Francine sees herself in a mirror and sees she's gained some weight. And then my children's chef is going to do a healthy recipe. So I'm getting out into the community, cross-pollinating with other children's businesses, and we're building a buzz around healthy mindset for kids.
Can I show them what one of your events kind of looks like?
Yes, please.
So this is an event she did about a month ago. And this is people having fun, connecting. And a lot of these people are authors. And the thing about this is everyone got to really not only get to know each other, but they got to connect and they got to stay in touch. I love your tale. I'm thinking about having one connected to me.
Yes. I got it on Amazon if anyone wants one. And if you do get a tale, please snap a picture and send it to me so I could share it with everybody.
Well, I'd like to, yeah, that's a great idea. And anyone that is interested in seeing a copy of your book, do you send them digitally to let them give a little glance?
I can, or you know what, on my website, you can order a sneak peek.
Okay,
So
good.
if you'd like a sneak peek, let me know and I'll send you the link.
Awesome. I think the final thing I wanted to ask you is about this event. When you have people that are going to the event, I noticed that people don't always know how to network and they don't always put their information in the chat. And it's one thing to do a book, and then it's another thing to have people know you did a book.
Yes.
And I think it's 100x factor, if not 1,000x factor. Can you share with people what an experience might have been like for you to do a book without a publishing company that cares about marketing?
Yes. I could tell you the first book I wrote was a self-help book. And I think I might have sold 10 copies. That nothing was done to help me promote it. As a matter of fact, they didn't even provide the reviews that I paid them to provide.
And your royalties were really handsome, right?
Oh, I haven't seen a dime from them yet. So, yes, not.
Yeah. So it almost makes it too easy to be a publisher, except for the fact that I do spend about $100,000 a year getting on flights and going to people's events. And the reason I do that is it makes a difference for not just the author, but it makes a difference for the community and it makes a difference for the publishing company. So no one loses when I'm paying these shekels to connect with you. More people learn about you, more people learn about us, and more people learn, period. So it's a great experience.
You might go a mile by yourself, but with Ken in your corner, you will go 10,000 miles.
Thank you, Francine. And by the way, we're synergistically blessed. We both want to change the world. We both believe we can, and so we're cheerleaders for each other. And when you have a cheerleader, you play bigger. You just play bigger. So this is the first show you've been on a Dr. Smiley show, but it will not be the last. Uh,
Yay.
every time we do a show, there'll be more tidbits, and then we're going to do a gigantic show, a 1 hour or more show when we get close to your Toastmasters one, because I want to really do a reveal. And I'm going to invite you, if you want, when we do the May event, the May show for an hour, if you want to bring a couple of different children's authors that'll be highlighted at the event, you can bring them on the show too. That way we just, because that's what it's
Sounds
all
good.
about. If you focus on putting the spotlight on other people, you'll never have to put the spotlight on yourself.
That is true. Absolutely true. And you know what? I think for that big event in May, we should do a whole segment on how to network properly.
I would love that. That would be awesome. My first book was about becoming the perfect networker, and it was about that actual theme of if you focus on how you can serve somebody else, you'll never have to serve yourself. Everyone else will serve you. I do want to ask one trivia question today. Let's do two. We're going to do two trivias to complete the show. What book changed your life?
Think and Grow Rich.
And number two, what movie inspires you?
This is going to sound funny, but Dirty Dancing.
And I have to do the bonus because it's triggering me. So you ready?
Yes.
Who's your hero?
You.
I wasn't expecting that. Okay.
Well, and that is just, I might not appreciate you as much as I do if I hadn't come from that bad experience with another publisher.
Well,
So anybody out there looking for a publisher, I'm here to say Ken checks all the boxes.
thank you. I love working with you, Francine. And Dr. Michelle Mraz brought to my attention something that I became very privy that was a gap for me. Is if you attract people that want to partner with you, they're going to be phenomenal partners. If you attract people that don't know how to partner, don't want to partner, you end up pulling, and it's a long and hard pull.
I
So
met someone like that yesterday.
yes, and I think you're going to change so many authors' lives because you are another voice that they need to hear and another perspective of what they need to hear. That it is possible to change their experience in publishing because 99% of people, unfortunately, do not do a second book because the first book was unfortunately a financial loss. And it wasn't just a financial loss, it was a psychological, almost depression or frustration.
Okay, I have to leave everyone with this. There's no such thing as failure. They're catalysts for metamorphosis.
Amen. And amen on a Sunday. So just a real quick again, by the way, Francine Juhlin, how do people connect with you?
I'm just going to throw this out there. My email address is Francine, Francine 712 @gmail.com. Or you could go to my website, personalchangewarriors.com.
And if you text me at 202-701-0911, and you can show me you're an author on Amazon or you want to be at this next meeting, I'll connect you with Francine. Is that pretty cool?
Yes.
The event is next event is Friday the 24th at 3 p.m. Eastern. It's a Zoom, and you're building this community so that they learn, connect, feel supported. And I'll tell you, what an amazing gift you're giving them. The average person on that call did not know how to connect. The average person on the call did very fine talking about their book and did very fine about um, I guess their public speaking. Everything was checked there, but that's called content. And if you don't know how to connect with people, you're losing the distribution power. I want to give a shout out to one person I want you to give a shout out to one person on the last call. I'm going to give one. Are you ready for this?
Yes.
Quentin Washington.
Yes. He is awesome.
He's amazing. He already sent me his book. It comes in Monday. And so, of course, when I show the book, guess who also gets to have their book shown? You. And so he is going to be on my show. But I want to say something. Not only does he have a great haircut, I mean, his haircut is fun. He has a great disposition, a great personality, but he takes action. When we said, hey, put your information, he was the only one at first that put his information. Then he put how to get his book on Amazon. And then he put how to reach him on Facebook. I mean, he was just really desiring to make a connection. And he's a super professional guy. I really love
And
him.
he's a veteran.
He is a veteran on top of it. And he's Army, which hoorah, you know?
Ooh. Well, you know what? The Army Navy game, I'm always torn because I was in both services.
Well, cool. Well, I'm just so excited to have you on the show today. And what I'm more excited about is how we're going to grow in 2025, because I remember 2 years ago when I put my very first contact in my phone, it was a family member. And right now it has 20,000 people, because it's just, what are you doing every day for your habit, your programming that allows you to be a different person by the end of a year? So it's funny, but I think I had 7, maybe even 9 connections for you for the next meeting. Is that about right?
Something like that, yeah.
And I told everyone in the call, if they could just bring one person, they would affect someone else's life. So that's that two tells two. I wanted to play a little bigger for you and connect you to 7. But you play big with me. You always connect me with really cool people. And Dr. Tanya Lee, I'm going to be seeing her in about around February 6th, I think.
Oh, awesome. And March 8th, Tanya and I are doing an authors event down in the Tampa area for
Mm-hmm.
International Women's Day.
If
So if
you are a
you're in the
photographer,
Tampa area and you want to get involved, let me know and I'll keep you involved with the details.
and if you're a photographer, and we possibly prefer a women photographer, so we keep it the women's theme. But I have been invited to women empowerment events. So if you would like to be at an event to support the women of this event, we're looking for someone that can take pictures, and we'll do it in the guise of a nice budget for a lot of publicity. Francine, you're magical.
Thank you.
So is your library. I'll see you. I'll see you on the 24th, but I'm sure I'll probably see you sometime this week as well.
Yes, absolutely.
All right. Thank you. Have a blessed day.
You too. Bye.